Welcome to Southpod, the first and foremost podcast created to tell the true story of tech innovation in the American South. Southpod is hosted by John Yerian and Stanfield Gray and produced by Dig South Tech Media. Dig South Tech Media is the South's tech hub, the place where leading global brands connect with the most scalable startups. Visit us at digsouth.com and follow us on social media at Dig South. The following episode features Arjun Devarajan, co-founder and CEO at Toucan AI. This episode was recorded live at the 2019 Venture Atlanta Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Now let's dig into Southpod with Arjun Devarajan.
Back here at Venture Atlanta 2019. I'm with Arjun Devarajan.
Yep, that's correct.
Excellent. With Toucan AI, they're one of the showcase companies this week. Very interested in what's happening in the AI space. Conversational decision making, right?
Yep, that's absolutely correct, yeah.
How do you define that?
Yeah, of course. So we basically have a platform for e-commerce companies that allows them to set up an AI salesperson to help customers make decisions on websites. And really where that takes place the most is in these e-commerce sites, particularly small to medium-sized e-commerce businesses that have pretty large product catalogs. Like typically you'll go to a site and you'll see tons of products on there, and oftentimes that turns customers away. Like if they can't find the right product quickly enough, they'll just leave the website.
Tyranny of too many choices?
Exactly, like choice paralysis almost. So we've seen that a lot of times this results in huge, what we call like bounce rates for the company.
Okay.
So they see like 99% of people coming to the website and then just leaving the website. And that obviously results in a pretty big drop in sales for them. So trying to be able to combat some of that by handling sales conversations on the website and basically helping guide customers to the right product as quickly as possible.
Give me the example of some of the products of one of the companies you work with.
Sure, yeah. So we actually have a pretty wide variety of things. It's kind of like almost the beauty of what we're doing is that it's able to fit in with any type of direct-to-consumer e-commerce. But to give you a couple examples, so one of the ones that we're working with is a local company here in Atlanta called Surfscape. They basically have a plant landscaping website where they have like a ton of different plants. Actually, I think as of a couple of days ago, they updated to 2,000 different plants on their website, just all sorts of types, shrubs, trees, a lot of decisions, right? And
sure, plants are, it's subjective as to how large a plant you want, what shape they're in, where they come from, are they native to your region? So a lot of questions.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely, and whether you can do them in the shade, indoors, outdoors, whether they're like resistant to deers or rabbits or all that kind of stuff. It's just like
gonna kill your children, toxic.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. I mean, it's just so many different things that oftentimes the consumer doesn't necessarily know about the products.
So I've just Googled, I'm looking for a ficus tree, or I'm looking for a croton, and I find this website, and I start surfing around, and I notice a wide variety of products. What happens at that stage? How do you enter the picture?
Yep, exactly. So we pop up as basically like a conversational agent on the website that acts as sort of like an AI salesperson. So we ask a very specific targeted question to the customer, and we say, like, for instance, we saw that you're looking for shrubs. Like, what kind of shrub are you most interested in? Like, are you looking for something that's deer resistant or whatever? So a couple questions around that.
It
prompts you, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's able to ask the customer questions, and then as they start to express preferences and sort of give us a better idea of what they're looking for, then we're able to start providing with suggestions and sort of help guide them to the right product. Okay. And all that's happening in an automated fashion.
Does the algorithm continue to learn as new questions surface and customers interact?
Absolutely. So that's actually one of the biggest value adds we have, apart from being like an instant setup solution, is to be able to provide this AI experience where as customers are talking to the company more and more, we're able to look at what customers want and try to see like what their desires are for this market at the point of sale.
Is there an avatar associated with it as well?
So there's not right now. We kind of decided that we felt that we wanted to be taken more as like a tool for converting rather than as like a brand presence. I think that could be something as we move into the future and we start to work with bigger companies that have more like an established brand type, then we could start to put in some kind of avatar. But for now, we just act as like a plain, simple sales assistant, basically.
Okay. So you commonly read about, how to eliminate for bias with AI and how to anticipate certain needs and trends and how to handle different languages. What are some of the fascinating challenges you've encountered as you develop the software?
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely language is something that's on our timeline. For now, we're typically focused on English, but we're definitely looking heavily into Spanish as well as Mandarin. Those are pretty big markets in e-commerce that are growing pretty fast. I would say like probably the biggest focus that we have is on the first part of the thing you mentioned, which is like a lot of times AI solutions are very restricted to companies that have tons of data. Companies that are typically big companies that have the ability to sit and train their models for often months on end before they're able to start working. And for us, we see that as a limiting factor for AI. We see that as something that is kind of held up in the pockets of society that have like, the Googles, the Facebooks, the Amazons of the world, where they have access to those resources, but there's this huge swath of small to medium-sized businesses that just don't have access to many of these AI solutions because they don't have the data, they don't have the resources. So we're, in a sense, trying to democratize AI and make it available to these small companies in a way that lets them set it up instantly and lets them...
So what's the pricing model look like that in order to help companies at different sizes?
Yeah, of course. So we have a monthly SaaS subscription. So basically it's tiered based on the amount of traffic that the website is getting. So for small SaaS companies, we basically have $100 a month pricing tier, and then for medium-sized companies, we have $400 a month.
Okay. And as a showcase company here this week at Venture Atlanta, are you raising another round, or what stage of development are you in? What's the size of the company now?
Yeah, of course. So the company right now is 3 full-time and 2 part-time. So we had a couple of interns over the summer, got a couple more coming up right now. In terms of fundraising, we raised a small angel round at the end of last year, and so far we've been running pretty lean. So we actually still have enough money to last us through about the middle of next year on that. Right now we have 7 live customers, so we're planning to do an open launch at the end of the year where we start to pick up a little bit more traction and start to onboard quickly. Following that, we plan to do like a proper seed raise around Q2 of next year.
And you're headquartered in Atlanta.
We're headquartered in Atlanta.
How did you choose Atlanta?
Yeah, of
How
course.
did this become the place to be?
Yeah, so my co-founder and I, we met while we were undergrads at Duke. So we're from the Southeast originally, and we knew that Atlanta was definitely like a big city in the Southeast. It was sort of like the ecosystem to sort of lord over all the other ecosystems in the Southeast. We spent a little bit of time up in Boston last summer. That's where we did our accelerator up at MIT. And we found that it was very, very expensive there and very, very difficult to recruit talent. I think a lot of times...
Is that through the Media Lab?
It was actually the Media Lab, that's exactly right, yeah. So we were at Play Lab, which is an accelerator through the MIT Media Lab, game lab there. And we saw that, since there are so many AI companies there and so many companies, especially like big companies that are offering high tech salaries, become a lot more difficult to recruit. There's a lot of poaching that we saw, whereas I feel that honestly Georgia Tech is one of the most underutilized resources that pretty much any college has in the United States. I mean, there's just a big wealth of AI talent and of computer science talent there that we were able to draw from very easily through programs like the ATDC over here in Midtown Atlanta.
So I have to ask, Toucan, is somebody a fan of Fruit Loops? I mean,
yes, oh my God.
Is it the cereal? Is it the bird?
Oh boy, man, I used to eat Fruit Loops every single day when I was younger. Thankfully I stopped. I lost like 20 pounds after I stopped doing that. But also actually, it really came up because my co-founder Vishnu had a stuffed toucan that he used to like hang out with, I guess play with when he was a little kid. And he just saw it sitting in his room one day and he's like, it's kind of a nice name. It's got a pretty distinctive branding. People typically know what a toucan's like, the big beak and everything. And we looked it up online. It had availability in the website and in terms of other sorts of branding, and yeah, just seemed like a good fit.
How do people find out more information about Toucan AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can reach out to me at arjun@toucanai.com. So it's ARJUN@toucanai.com, or they can come to our website, toucanai.com. And definitely feel free to reach out. We definitely love to talk to anybody interested in learning more.
Great. I've been asking everyone, what does success look like to you at the end of this week?
Oh man, it's a great question. So this week has been crazy. I mean, I'm sure you also learned about how there's, TechStars Atlanta Demo Day was earlier this week, and then this is happening, and it's a bunch of stuff happening. I think that ideally, if we can meet a few more angel investors that are in this space, as well as some potential customers in the B2C e-commerce space, that would be very, very exciting.
Hold on, Arjun from Toucan AI. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.